21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
You can have a great CFO, a fractional CFO, who had customers that went bankrupt. And it's not because the CFO wasn't a good CFO. You can have knucklehead owners who refuse to take the recommendations and take action that the CFO is saying, hey, here's what time it is. What are you going to do about that? Sometimes for pride or whatever, owners don't take the correct actions. My vision is to strengthen families and communities by helping their small businesses, faith-based nonprofits, and private equity firms to succeed. I believe when small businesses thrive, it lifts up a community economically. When their faith-based nonprofits are thriving and people have excess funds that they can contribute to these nonprofits, the social and the spiritual well-being of that community is strengthened. And I believe that makes for a stronger nation. And that's applicable to whether we're talking about America, the UK, Croatia, wherever we are. When people have meaningful jobs that pay them well, there's a work-life balance. And when they're able to contribute to causes that they care about, the community's better. And when they actually have something to contribute, people are naturally generous. You know, when business owners are successful, they can participate in funding the startup of other businesses and investing, and it has a snowball effect. And that's my desire to do that in my community and in my country. My name is Ben Risser. My business is Provident Financial Services. We help owners and executives understand the financial results of operations of their business or organization, and we help them to plan to grow. And the way we do that is through part-time chief financial officer services. A finance industry term would be fractional CFO, but really that's just a part-time financial professional who helps a business understand their financials, helps them reorganize their accounting so that their financials are meaningful and accurate. And they're also a teacher. They teach financial literacy, and they provide financial intelligence in the format of financial reporting. It could be dashboards, it could be key performance indicators, things that communicate the effectiveness of operations, whether that be a construction company, a startup producing a product, or a professional firm delivering a service. Owners need to understand, need to be able to relate the financial results of everything that everybody's doing all day throughout the week. And if they don't understand what's working and what's not, where's cash leaking out of the boat, and where are they really earning value with the customer? Where's the profit margin at? If they don't understand that, they're really just going to be watching top line sales revenue and cash balances, and they're going to struggle to grow without what I term financial situational awareness, which is knowing where you've been, knowing where you're at, knowing where you want to go, and then where are you heading? Because sometimes we're not always heading in the direction that we want to go. And the financials help us do all of that. And then, some of the skills of a CFO in being able to create credible financial projections, help business owners know if they're heading in the right direction and what course corrections do they need to make. And to be able to make those course corrections before, the worst possible thing, which is running out of cash, happens. And that's one of the biggest responsibilities of the CFO is letting owners know when cash is heading in the wrong direction and intervening while there's still time to intervene. So that's a little bit of what I do on the CFO side, and we also provide accounting services, day-to-day accounting services, not tax preparation. We specifically do not provide tax preparation. We focus on the day-to-day accounting and financial reporting, so business owners have support throughout the year, not just at tax time, of understanding how their business is doing financially. Are we hitting our goals? And am I setting aside enough for taxes, et cetera? And so we provide kind of that tactical support to your tax accountant throughout the year. And so we kind of view ourselves as strategic partners to tax accountants. When we think about, why we're doing what we're doing, it's really about increasing the mission impact of our customer. We want to work with people who share our values so that we can increase their mission impact. And when we can increase their mission impact, we're achieving our mission as well. And the way we do that is we get down into the weeds of their business and make sure that they understand what's creating profit for them and what is productive expense versus non-productive expense. Help them understand, for instance, I had a great month of sales, a great month of net income, but where did all my cash go at the end of the month? Why is my cash balance so low? And really connecting the income statement to the balance sheet, so we, to accomplish these higher level goals of what we're trying to accomplish in the world of increasing mission impact of our customers, we do that by getting down in the weeds of our customers' businesses and bringing to light things that they need to address, and just really helping increase their financial literacy of their business. And the goal is really to get them to be independent so they can independently consume their financial reports and make decisions independently, because then we can get more strategic about how do we grow this? How do we increase this mission impact? But until we get the fundamentals and the basics, it's hard to get strategic because you're just focused so tactically on how do I record this expense? Where does it belong? And what's the P&L again? So it's a process, and we want to get more and more strategic, and we want our customers to get more and more independent in making financial decisions. I won the genetic lottery with my parents. My parents both carried a particular gene, and if those genetic defects combined, it results in a condition called retinitis pigmentosa. I discovered that I had this when I was in college, and 15 or 20 years out of college now, and it's resulted in a lot of loss of peripheral vision and night vision, and it's dramatically changed my life. I wanted to be a pilot when I was growing up, and there's no blind pilots out there. And I went to school for aerospace engineering, wanted to go in the aviation route, and that kind of all put the kibosh on that. But God had other plans, and the condition of just losing your sight and not knowing how much longer you have functional, useful sight for really has a focusing effect. It really forces you to sweep a lot of distractions off the table and say, what do I want to accomplish in my life? What do I want to accomplish with this vision? How am I going to steward the time that I have remaining to make the most impact in the world, the most kingdom impact? And for me, it's really focused me on what do I want to accomplish with my business and why? And again, it just goes back to mission impact, standing, promoting life, family, faith, freedom, country, and helping other people accomplish the same and teaching my children to do the same as well. I started out my career in aerospace engineering and really loved it, grew up loving aviation, and engineering really taught me how to approach an unstructured problem and bring structure to it and solve it. And also figuring out, how to do things better. And in my journey from engineering to finance, I studied for and passed the level 1 CFA exam, and that really, that body of knowledge was just so important to taking all of that engineering know-how, the analysis, just this ability to break everything down and determine what are the root causes and apply that all to finance. And so I really bring this engineering mind to finance. And when we look at a business and we analyze a business and try to understand how is this business creating value for its customer, how is it producing that, and how do we need to manage the cash flows and the investments and the expenses, and how do we need to time those things so that we can grow a business and not run out of cash along the way, and have to go back to investors and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we underestimated how much cash we needed," but really using analysis to determine, what kind of cash are we going to need to make this thing fly. So my engineering background and all the real estate studies, the CFA, all of that feeds into how I think as a CFO, how I approach a company or a business model, or an entrepreneur trying to bring a product or service to market. I'm wired to look for risks that could threaten the creation and delivery of value to customers, looking at just very practical operational risks, internal controls, and a lot of small businesses and startups, these things aren't really thought about because the sole focus is getting a product to market, making sales. And I think small businesses, I think, desperately need a fractional CFO. They need to fill the functional void between the bookkeeper and the tax accountant, because there's a big gap between the two. And it's that year-round financial insight into their company and what's going on, and being able to throw up a red flag and say, hey, you're trending in a wrong direction. We need to change course here. It's having somebody watching your blind spots that small businesses and entrepreneurs typically don't have. And I think as soon as a small business or an entrepreneur can afford a CFO, even if it's like once a quarter, a fractional CFO is coming in and they're doing a dipstick test on your financials, and they're explaining to you, educating you, all right, this is what I see. These are my recommendations for the coming quarter. Something is better than nothing. One of my customers was an entrepreneur who was producing toys that he wanted to have sold in Target and Walmart. He was producing children's toys, and phenomenal visionary, phenomenal designer. However, as an entrepreneur, you can be all those things, but when it comes time to grow your company, you're going to have to raise capital. And to raise capital, you're going to need to be able to produce credible financial reporting of what actually happened, where a sophisticated investor can look at this and understand the financials it's like a history book. It's a storybook. You can just watch how an entrepreneur stumbled and fall and how they succeeded and when they got traction as an entrepreneur and their product started selling. You can see all that through financials, and investors need to be able to see that. However, entrepreneurs sometimes are so busy being entrepreneurs, their bookkeeping sometimes is a stack of papers on a desk, and I'll get to it before tax time. And however, when you get to the point where you need to raise capital, that's not the time to take that stack of papers and put it into QuickBooks. It was while you were spending those monies, getting those things recorded correctly, so that when the time came, you had a credible financials you could present to investors, and also a credible pro forma, because the financial pro forma tells the investor, it justifies why you need a certain amount of capital, what it's going to go to. And you can't really build a financial pro forma unless you have historical actuals to reference and justify and defend your pro forma and why you're asking for a certain amount of money. So that's something that entrepreneurs oftentimes are just so poorly capitalized. And one of those reasons is because they don't have the financial reporting and pro forma to raise more capital. And so they struggle, and they have to go ask family members for more and more money, et cetera, take out loans, and loans are, you have to be careful with those. So the best policy is just to have accurate financials and accurate accounting from the beginning. So if audience members want to learn more about me, they can go to Provident Financial Services Ltd.com, and I also have a free download there called From Sales to Equity, what your financials are trying to tell you about your business. And they can learn more about me on LinkedIn as well. Just look up Ben Risser, Risser, and I should pop up there on LinkedIn.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.